Okay, so if you hear this, that's a special seat that I have for the warmth because it's kind of cold here in the Midwest. Anyway, I finally got a previously on fucking Chucky. I haven't got one of those since like the first episode of season 2. That's what it said without the fucking. Sounds weird. So yeah, they say that, and it's a recap of the first 2 seasons really. For this, it opens and it picks up basically where last week's episode picked off. And before I get started, this one's a bit late because Sling would not let me watch it. Usually I watch AEW first, then I come back and watch Chucky. I recorded. It wasn't there. Nurse season 2 was there. I went to the on demand and it wouldn't let me watch the ones that were there. So I had to wait till it re-aired. So yeah. Anyway, so we open up to where picked up last week basically. We're there in the church and we see Chucky get fucked up only to reveal that Chucky knocked out Mixture. And the Chucky we saw get fucked up last week was actually Mixture. He swapped at the last second. That's why Chucky did that look before he got shot right in the mouth. And again, they showed it again. Beautiful effect. Beautiful. But yeah. And so that's why Mixture has the Chucky eyes. He swapped out the last second. And then it does a flashback to their relationship from when she first met him as a kid to when he was older, like I said, teenager. In their relationship, I said last week, is it like Joker and Harley? Because they were dancing like Joker and Harley, and she has this weird kind of her fixation isn't on him like Harley's was on Joker. Hers is on what he does, and she encourages it. And she's a horrible therapist. She did not do the Dr. Loomis way. And this comes back because again, Chucky wound up murdering her. He was like, "Sorry, Doc, I no longer need your services," and did what he did. And then Chucky Mixture drives off, and we see that Mixture actually had another Chucky doll, because obviously Chucky transfers himself out of her into the Chucky doll, and her body's found a bit later, like so much later that it's like she severed ties with the church, which is now closed. Like, how the hell was that place open? The priest wasn't ordained. Like, anyway. But yeah, so we jump a few weeks later to Christmas time, and Lexi's in a support group, getting help with her addictions, and you see Jake's there with her, and Jake's looking kind of worried because they're like, all right, so because she explained everything, and then she says, and they're like, so like, how did it get started? What made you want to do drugs or whatever? And Jake is really like almost sweating, and he takes a deep breath, and it's like her mother. Jake's like, whew. Like, was he actually gonna say Chucky? Come on. But yeah, and so yeah. Also, Lexi's wearing a lot of makeup to the point where I notice it and I can't see shit. So it's weird. It looks gross. It's weird. But yeah. So yeah. After the meeting, we see him walk into Lexi's house, and her mother's back, and she's putting up decorations on a Christmas tree, and she's acting a bit off, but be like, well, she got trampled before, and how many times they hit her head? Maybe that she was live on Instagram or Facebook, whatever, for politics. And so when Lexi asked if Jake could stay with them for Thanksgiving or the Christmas, and she's like, who ever turned down an orphan? Actually, it's like 2 orphans. And before this, Lexi and Jake were talking. Jake asked Lexi if she had heard from Devin, and she's like, once, I think. But then Devin comes down the stairs after the whole 2 orphans, like, surprise, I'm your gift, Jake. And also surprised was her mother, who turned off the camera and was like, Lexi, what the hell? You know? And then Jake leaves to get Devin a gift. And Lexi's mother walks off. It's like, I can't deal with this. Then we cut to Tiffany. She's Tiffany now. Tiffany slash Jennifer Tilly. It's Tiffany and Glenda, I think, or Glenn. They're twins, and they're talking on the phone, and Glenn is going to see Glenda, or vice versa. For the short hair, like that's Glenda. Fuck, I heard it. One twin seeing the other in the hospital because she got shot in the previous episode protecting Tiffany from Nika, and she's in a coma. It looks like, and it don't look good for her. And her twins are upset about it, and calls what she calls Tiffany, and then she's like, "So we gotta do this, huh?" And Tiffany's like, "Are you sure?" She's like, "Yeah," because she didn't want to lose her twin. And the thing they're talking about is reuniting in the Glenn / Glenda doll, which, by the way, other reviews I saw, I'm the only one to call what the fuck they did, because everybody's like, they have to have one more surprise. I called it. Yeah, because Tiffany's holding the Glenn / Glenda doll. I'm like, yeah. And then, so when we see him later on, they do the transfer. After Tiffany asks again, "Are you sure?" They do the transfer, and when we see him later on, never mind that. When we see him later on, it's already done, the transfer. And the Glenn / Glenda doll is back with wearing like Glenda's clothes, the short hair twin wearing Glenda's clothes, has Glenda's hair. Again, a lot of makeup. And still looks freaky, even with the makeup. I've always thought that doll looked freaky. It was more effective when it wore the wedding dress. It was sorry, the knife and everything. That's what it was. That's what looked freaky. But yeah, and so while in this doll, and I said it last week, and nobody caught it. I watched other reviews. Nobody said shit. I caught it last week, but I read the credits. Billy Boyd. I couldn't remember his name last week. That's who it was. The original voice for Glenn and Glenda. When the doll speaks, it's Billy Boyd again, and I had very mixed emotions about that. On the one hand, it's another return. On the other hand, it's this return. I'm like, okay. Because I didn't really like what Billy Boyd did before. Except in the one scene with the dress. But yeah, and Billy Boyd, Glenn and Glenda, they're off to England. What the fuck? The living talking doll's gonna do in England? You got me. But yeah, they're off to England because that's the accent they have. They want to explore that. Sort of like in Seed of Chucky, where you see the made in Japan on the doll's wrist, and the doll's doing martial arts and everything, speaking Japanese. Yeah, so we go back to the family, and quite honestly, this is where it really started messing up. So the gist of it is, Jake presents Devin with his gift, with his podcast and stuff, which I believe is cool. Devin's like, "Oh, okay, that's great." Then we're at the table, and Devin's acting differently. And Jake's like, "What?" And Devin's like, "You gave me this for me to feel better. You got it for you to feel better, or whatever." And he's like, "Podcasting, that's just so last year." I'm like, "Damn, Devin." So they're obviously still fighting and having problems. Sitting on his gift that he got you. Probably expensive gift, but okay. And so yeah, because Devin thought the episode was like, "No, you're the best gift I ever gotten." But it's like, "No, but that's from Lexi. I want to get through something." And then he gets him a gift and he sits on it. I don't know. And then Lexi and her mother start arguing, but then they kind of talk it through, I guess. Kind of, again, it started messing up. So that's the gist of what I got from it. They made up. Jake and Devin, they don't. I don't know. I think they did because they wound up sharing a what do you call it? A sleeping bag, and they're making out, and Lexi's like stop making up, I'm trying to sleep. So, oh, right. I forgot about Caroline, like the series did. We saw her once in season one, a lot in season one, once in the first episode of season two. She's back. And, yeah, Penn and her, but she's back. Well, she's back. And, so yeah. And then, this is when you saw in the trailer where Chucky's coming through the chimney with a Santa hat, and then you hear Caroline doing a Christmas rhyme in the style of Dr. Seuss, but then Chucky, he takes over, and his rhymes are much more Chucky-like. He talks about what he's going to do and everything, and yeah. And I love how his voice changes when he describes it. And it shows him kind of being Santa, eating the cookies and drinking the milk. But I was talking about how he's going to fucking cut him up. It's a fantastic voice work by Brad Dorff. So yeah, he shows up, and this is after he bought a silent chainsaw, which I didn't know those existed. Yeah. And you can guess what the reference is. If not, they straight up point it out, but you can guess. So he's in the house with a silent chainsaw, and Lexi's mother comes out. She's like, "Who's there?" Because it's a horror movie. But then she says, "I'll call the police," which is better than, "Trevor, is that you? Here's my tits." Slightly better than that. But yeah. And so she goes down the steps, and then Chucky drops down with a silent chainsaw. Just cuts her right in half. At first, it's cut up all weird, like a WWE match. But then they show the wide sides of what's actually happening. And I like they did that. Yeah, you can see what they did, but it looks great. Looks great. He cut her way all the way in half with the chainsaw. And this is where Tiffany shows up. Oh yeah, Tiffany showed up before this. And Chucky's like, "Why the hell you here?" Tiffany's like, "Why the hell you here?" And they have a quick conversation where Chucky basically is like, he's going to murder these kids, and then he's going to discipline Glenn and Glenda for disobeying him, which means he's going to murder them too. But Tiffany's like, "I don't think so, not the kids." And some fans have been complaining about that, but yeah, she's going to protect her kids even if she is Tiffany. These other kids, I don't get why she's protecting them, but yeah, she's going to protect her own. And then Chucky's like, "Yeah, whatever. I'm going to murder these kids now," only for Lexi to come out of nowhere and just, like, tackle him, take his chainsaw, cut his ass up. Alright. Chucky's like, "Wait, I'm the last one. If you do that, there won't be any more. This will be it." Which, bullshit. But yeah. And Lexi's like, "Oh no," and then Tiffany's like, "So sad," and just leaves. And then Lexi cuts his ass up, and the face is cut up like kind of like Pinhead. Maybe in reference to prior Chucky, when the late great John Ritter takes all those nails to the face. And Chucky's like, "Now where did I see that before?" In reference again to Pinhead. So yeah, it finishes them off right then and there. A lot of liquid, guts, blood, fantastic, flesh, all that shit. And she goes after Tiffany, but then Devin and Jake are waiting for her with their own weapons, and actually they get some good shots here. They stab the shit out of her in the corner of her, and then Jake's like, "Car police, Devin," and Devin kind of hesitates, but he's like, "So bleed out, man, car police." He takes out his phone, only for Caroline to show up, alright, with a knife, and she stands next to Tiffany, puts the knife in her hand, puts her throat to the knife. Okay. Not her expression, not changing at all. This kid did a great job. The eyes aren't changing, her expression isn't changing. She puts her neck to the knife. And it tells the other kids to drop their weapons. And she explains that Chucky got to her. Like we saw it in season 1. The brainwashed him. He told her that Tiffany's his real mother and everything, and that worked. And she's calling Tiffany mommy now. and they both leave. Obviously, Lexi tries to plead with her. They both leave, and then we see the aftermath. Then it cuts again to Wade in the fucking future. I don't. Yeah, and somewhere in, I'll say Asia. I'm not good with geography. I'll say somewhere in Asia. It's a very colorful place. Different language written. Yeah, mostly kind of blue. It's beautiful. Yeah, somewhere in Asia, and it's Tiffany in a room with Caroline, and this Tiffany doll. But the doll before she became a Tiffany doll, I forgot what they called it. They've been showing that the whole episode. Oh, I forgot. There's a scene, a really good scene of Jennifer Tilly, a good leg shot from behind of Jennifer Tilly when she goes to try to get the kids. Probably in reference to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 what they did with Caroline Williams' legs, minus the whole water being sprayed on them. There was a lot of blood splattered. They did that with the blood. But good reference there. Good reference. Good legs. Yeah. So yeah, they're in the hotel room, and Tiffany's dressed like Rooney Mara and the girl with the dragon tattoo with the short hair, the all black, and the three crosses. But just wearing this whole number. It looks good on her. And she gets a phone call, and it's Nika, who apologizes for what happened to Glenda. But then it's like, oh, well, don't misunderstand. I'm still coming for you. I'm going to return the favor of what you did to me. They're going to actually murder you. And then she ends it with, by the way, I like what you did with your hair, which scares Tiffany. And then Nika starts laughing. And that threw me for a second. I was expecting a Chucky laugh, but it's like, right, is this Chucky, not Nika? So different laugh. Okay. And then the Tiffany doll, or whatever she's called before she's Tiffany, that doll is in the room with him, right? Tiffany does she puts the pentagram on the floor like she did in Briar Chucky, puts a doll in the middle of it, does the how they do umbrella. And remember the part where she's trying to wake up Chucky and Briar Chucky? She's like, awake. Starts hitting the dog. Same thing here with the doll. She's like, awake. No, she's like, possess. And she's still reading that Voodoo for Dummies book from Briar Chucky. I love it. And she thinks it fails. Caroline again, her facial expression unchanging. Then the dog gets up. In Curse of Chucky, there's a scene where Chucky, he gets hit or something, and you see a part of his face come off. Then it's the scene with the finger when he tries to bite it. That's where he peels off his face to reveal the scars and everything. Very similar scene here, because this Tiffany doll, or whatever it's called before, stands up, and you get a super close up of the eyes, which are green. But then the dog takes out these contacts. I know dogs could wear contacts to reveal blue eyes, and then it swipes the face to reveal the familiar freckles. And you hear the laugh. That's when Caroline's expression changes. And then it takes off the wig to reveal, like I thought, another Chucky doll. And Chucky's in a wedding dress, by the way, with the knife like Glenda in Seed of Chucky. The one scene I actually think that doll's freaky. That was Chucky wearing the dress with the evil look on his face. And he launches at Tiffany while Caroline laughs. And that's how y'all just laughs or cuts to black to end the episode. Then Chucky recaps his murders like he did last year, but this time in a Christmas rhyme like Dr. Seuss. No, in the style of 12 Days of Christmas. And the way he does it, again, Brad Dorff did great voice work. He starts out in kind of nice Chucky way with the softer voice, but then as he describes the murders, his voice changes to that Chucky voice we all know and love. And his rhyming. 1/5 of sex and one, like what do you say? 1/5 of sex and one strangulation, one inoculation. not good. It's something they were never heard before. I'm like, all right, it's so many words like that. Like, and then he this recalls out just at one Texas Chainsaw. I'm like, so it was that. All right. And by the way, Texas Chainsaw is a whole other movie, but still, they point out the reference. And oh yeah, it's like yeah, one bit of a section, one strangulation, one shit. I had it, I lost it. Texas, yeah. But yeah, it was. That's the way they ended right there. Like I'll be honest. This episode, my troubles, kind of dragged up until Chucky finally showed up towards the end. Like, yeah, it did. Oh, one strangulation, one vivisection, one assimilation, one in something nation. The way he did that, and the voice changing, I just love that. But yeah, no, this one kind of like I said, dragged up until Chucky showed up with the chainsaw and did his thing. It really did. This minus my troubles once again that I had with Sling. I had real trouble paying attention to this episode or even caring about these characters. I hate to say it because I like Jake and I like Devin. I like their relationship. Could not give a fuck. This episode, they're fighting. They're like, oh my goodness. Talk already. Just talk. Say what's on. Say what's bugging you, Devin. Just tell him what's bugging you. That communication. Yeah. I didn't get it. Lexi getting clean. Okay, fine. I'm still waiting for that apology to Jay. So I still don't fully like Lexi at this point. The soul's trying. She fucked up Chucky. And then what she did, oh yeah, she said, "What a rush." You get it? Because it's a drug thing. Yeah. So, yeah. That was Chucky. Season 2, Episode 8. Chucky actually. What love actually has to do with horror, I have no idea. Thank you for watching.